Hey guys, gonna be doing a review here on a SOG Trident. First impressions, I have to say, wow, it's pretty cool. It's definitely a good-looking knife. Overall design is it's pretty wicked looking. It's actually very comfortable in the hand. Let's go over some specs. Like I said, this is the SOG Trident. There are a couple different versions of this, but this is the plain edge satin blade with the black Zytel handles. Blade steel is AUS 8. It's 3.75-inch blade. Overall length of the whole knife open is 8.5 inches, and the weight is 3.6 ounces. So it's not because of the Zytel, being the whole handles made out of Zytel and there's no liners or anything. It actually makes for a pretty light knife. You have that wicked looking blade. You have the kind of upswept thumb rest that goes up here. Good jimping. It's actually very comfortable to use. It's almost like it's smooth, but it gives you enough grip where you're not going to kind of slide off, when you're doing those heavy cutting tasks. And of course, you have a lot of jimping all around, different various parts, depending on how you get a hold of this, the reverse position, stuff like that. The molded Zytel handles are really cool. I like the pattern on this, where it's real heavy checkering over here, and it kind of lightens up. It's almost as if it was splashed. You can catch that, like kind of like if there was water on there splashed across. It makes for a really interesting design. Aesthetically, it looks really nice. Again, I prefer plain edge blades, so this blade is just really nice. Like I said, satin finish. I actually polished this up. I got this used in a trade, which I just made a video about. Hopefully you saw that. This isn't an assisted opening knife, if you guys aren't familiar with those. Real simple, just to give it a little poke with the thumb stud out, and of course it shoots out for you really easily. The only thing I don't like about assisted opening knives is I don't have, this one specifically, I don't have the option to open this slowly. Okay, I would have to, if I was doing it one-handed, I would have to kind of push this out with my finger. Well, it's even too hard to do it. I would have to push this out, kind of catch it with my finger as I'm pushing out, so I can kind of slowly open that. It's not a huge huge deal to me, but I personally I probably prefer manual knives more than I do assisted opening, just for legality purposes. Right now, assisted opening knives are legal in most places, but I can foresee them being a problem in the future, just because of ridiculous laws and stuff like that, and of course. People just want to give you a hard time about knives because unfortunately they can't get past them as being weapons. That's all they see knives being is weapons and not tools. But anyway, actually let me just wipe off some of those fingerprints I just put on the blade there. But overall, it's actually a really nice knife. I'm not sure on price range. I believe under the $75 price tag. I would say it's a good buy. There's a whole lot of knives out there for the money. I mean, for $75, you have a lot to choose from. SOG certainly offers some nice knives. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it's still definitely a really nice knife. If you like the design and you want something lightweight but a little bit larger like this knife, it certainly gives you enough handle to grip onto, and it is, gives you a nice good grip. It's a lot of knife to work with. For the locking mechanism here, you have this kind of arched lock. It would look similar to a Benchmade Axis lock, but it works very differently. I don't know if you can see that, but this it's actually a lever in there, and the lever pushes down. You can make that out. There's a little spring, and the lever pushes down. I wouldn't say spring, but it's spring metal. There's tension on it, and as that pushes down, just releases on the spine of the blade, which releases the blade. And then as you're pushing this in, of course, you have a little bit of tension right here, okay, just like all assisted opening knives, because when you're opening the knife, that's where it actually catches and shoots out for you. So just keep that in mind. You can close this one-handed, but it's a little bit harder for some people to do. Generally, I'll release the lock and then just close it two hands. Just makes it easier. What I really like about this knife is the pocket clip. I think that's awesome. They have laser cut out the SOG logo in the clip. it's pretty cool. I mean, what I really like about this clip, not just because, you know, aesthetically it looks cool, but this is a very, very low riding clip. Okay, instead of being mounted on the side of the handle, it's mounted through the top, and then you have a screw that actually keeps it in. But when you have this on, actually, you know what? I don't have. Let's see. I just have some paper here. I don't have my. I don't really want to stand up and show you my pocket right now, but when you have this in your pocket, basically, it's going to ride all the way down. So when this is in your pocket, all you see is the clip. You have absolutely no knife showing whatsoever. Some people really like that. Some people actually hate that. So it's something to consider for sure in buying this specific model. The Trident, being different, it's very similar to the Flash in how it works, but it's a different overall look as far as design goes. And the biggest difference is the cutout here in the handle. And what that allows you to do is when the knife is closed, you have some blade that's exposed here, and they call it a seatbelt cutter. So I guess if you're in an emergency situation, you can very quickly cut at that seatbelt without opening your knife. When you open your knife blade, then you have, of course, especially with this one, with that kind of acute point, you have a tendency to maybe poke into yourself or whatever person you're trying to cut out. So they figure it's a convenience to do it this way because it's safe to do it. And of course your finger, you know, you're not going to be able to, in handling this knife, you're not going to cut yourself in there. You can't really get your finger in there, even from the side, so you don't have to worry about that. Actually, I got this, I tried using this seatbelt cutter on some 550 paracord, and actually didn't work out too well. I did get this knife used. Did need a little bit of a sharpening, which I have not done yet. So that could be, you know, the reason why that wasn't working out so good for me. Like I said, all I did was I polished the blade up, you know, to buff out some of the scratches and clean it up. But I will resharpen this, and maybe I'll make an updated a video in the future to let you know how that seatbelt area, how that works. You do have a lock on this knife, okay? Because it is assisted opening, you might be afraid that you might accidentally open that in the pocket when you're carrying it. There's a little switch here you just pop over. And that's it. That'll lock the blade up so you don't have to worry about that opening on accident. When it's in the unlock position, it's actually, the bottom is painted red. Might be hard to see here, but it's just like any other, like most automatic knives. If the switch is off, where it's able to be you know, opened, it's going to be red as a warning. And obviously when it's shut, you don't see anything. So that's the SOG Trident. Before I go, one more thing I'd like to say is I don't have a lanyard on here right now, but this has a very large lanyard hole, you see there, which is awesome. Definitely very easily accommodate 550 cord. The problem on a lot of folding knives is if you want to put a lanyard on there, a lot of times they just give you this little dinky hole to work with, and it's very, very hard if you're using 550 cord, you know, being that it's a thicker diameter. But this is an excellent lanyard hole. I just wanted to point that out. So that's the SOG Trident. Hope you enjoyed the review. I don't think I missed anything. I guess that's it. Once again, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.